Alright, everybody now. We need y'all to stand tall, everybody now. Come on, all around the world, sing it.
M-U-S-L-I-M. I'm so blessed to be with
them, y'all. Everybody now.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Imam Zaid Shakir, and I'm here to just invite all of my young brothers and sisters to identify firmly, strongly, uncompromisingly as a Muslim, not just a Muslim. Our identities are the byproduct of many inputs, many variables go into the formula of making us who we are. We are American. We might be from South Asian, African descent, from European descent, or whatever the case might be, native descent. That's part of who we are. We're human beings. Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. We have ennobled the human being. We have a human identity. We have a national identity. But our foremost identity should be our Muslim identity. Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْسِنُ قَوْلًا مِّمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech than one who calls to Allah? To call to Allah, we have to firmly believe in Allah. We have to believe in the properness of Islam, the utility, the benefit of Islam. Then we call to it. Brothers and sisters, if we're not callers, we're called. And this is what we see all around us. People aren't calling to Islam. Some people are ashamed of Islam. Some people think no one wants to listen to a Muslim. They think we're a bunch of terrorists. You'd be surprised who wants to listen to the message that we have. So brothers and sisters, and back to the point, we're callers or we're called. And so because so many Muslims, including many young Muslims, are not calling to the religion, they're being called to this, that, or the other. And you see Muslims embracing positions and ideas that were never embraced in the history of this ummah, because they're being called, because they're not calling. And the reason they're not calling, they're not proud to be Muslim. وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ. With Allah is pride and honor and strength. وَلِرَسُولِهِ, and His messenger. وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and for the believers. وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. It's the hypocrites who realize it not. So brothers and sisters, let us be firm. Let us not be approaching hypocrisy. I'm not accusing anyone of hypocrisy. Let us not approach hypocrisy, and let us be like the verse of the people. The verse describes, وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, and they say, verily, I'm from amongst the Muslims. You're blessed to be a Muslim, brothers and sisters. And we have to start realizing that and embracing our religion. Then we won't be committing suicide. We won't be endorsing positions that are totally insane. We won't be compromising our religion. We won't be taking off our hijabs. We won't be doing all of these things. We won't be find a weakly argued, illogical, atheistic position attractive. We have to be Muslims, brothers and sisters. M-U-S-L-I-M. I'm so blessed to be with them, to be with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're back on the scene, the #1 dean. I'm proud to be down with the Muslim League.
They've never seen conditions like they are right now.
Tahera Rahman is living her dream.
A normal voter turnout for a primary election is about 22%.
She's currently an on-air reporter for WHBF-TV in Rock Island, Illinois.
Yesterday, I spoke with people in Prophetstown about some of the water that they were taking on there.
But getting on camera was not easy. Growing up, Tahera was aware of the uphill battle she would face because of her hijab.
One of my producers even asked me point blank, he's like, if you got your dream offer, they're gonna give you a reporting gig, but they wanted you to take off your headscarf, would you do it? And I said, no. He's like, well, then get ready for a lot of no's.
After graduating from college, Tahera worked in radio as a producer and then transitioned to television, but only behind the scenes at first. Determined, she forged ahead and continued applying for on-air positions, something she had wanted since she was a little girl.
And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to be a journalist, and if I'm going to be a journalist who looks like me, even though there isn't anyone else out there right now here, it would happen here in America.
But that dream almost didn't come true. Tahera was thinking about quitting, but it was her mother who convinced her to keep going.
She's like, you can and you will. You get back up every time, and you're going to get back up this time.
Tahera got her first on-air reporting job in Illinois last month, becoming one of the first known hijab-wearing TV reporters in the United States.
Good balance is one of the keys to success in sport. For NFL star Hussein Abdullah, balancing the demands of football with his faith has been equally crucial. The Kansas City Chiefs player says it's an approach not everyone in the United States can accept. The California native timed this visit to Qatar to coincide with Ramadan. Abdullah fasts every year, even when it falls within the NFL season.
Ramadan has really been a great source for me to actually raise my game, even though it seems weird because it seems like it will go the other way, but it hasn't.
In 2012, Abdullah joined some 3 million Muslims for the annual Hajj, a world away from the life he was used to in the NFL.
It's something that I did. It's something that, even when I look back on it, I really can't believe that year happened.
The Chiefs had enough faith in Abdullah's ability to sign him after his year off. Faith he's now hoping to repay by helping Kansas to a first postseason win since 1994.
Hilton had it, but then it was taken out of his arms.
That's an intercept
by Hussein Abdullah.
Pryor intercepted. Hussein Abdullah, and it's going to be a pick six.
And that one's going to be intercepted at the 10-yard line. And that is Hussein Abdullah, who stays back there with him.
Myers deflected and picked off. Hussein Abdullah. The pass up the middle, it's intercepted. Hussein Abdullah brings it out for the Vikings.
I live and breathe Brooklyn. People describe me as argumentative, talkative, super friendly. I literally can talk to a wall, and I have perfected the art of telling it like it is. That's the first way that you know that I'm a true Brooklynite.
I stand here before you, unapologetically Muslim American, unapologetically Palestinian American, unapologetically from Brooklyn, New York. Sisters and brothers, you are what democracy looks like. Sisters and brothers, you are my hope for my community.
I was 24 years old when I started working at the police department as a Muslim chaplain. And the uniform in and of itself just commands a lot of respect. Everyone's calling you sir. You have men who are twice your age who stop everything to salute you. There was times I walked in the bathroom, guys are standing at urinals. They would turn around and salute me. Like, guys, don't do that.
And I say this to you as somebody who has shared stages with the Pope and the Dalai Lama, been invited to speak with the president and his senior staff. Not this president, the previous one. Don't get me wrong. I've been interviewed by every media outlet that you can think of. From Stephen Colbert to Katie Couric, been on the cover of Newsweek magazine. You might be the only one that is standing when everyone else is seated. You might be the only one that is speaking when everyone else is silent. But you might be that critical voice, that critical body that ignites what is needed for everyone else to get going. Go forward and be the reason that people have hope in this world.
15 moves on. And there it is. Muhammad ducks the assault.
When I qualified for the Olympic team, the focus was about me being the first Muslim woman in hijab to represent Team USA at the Olympic Games.
She will become the first American athlete to compete in the Olympics wearing a hijab.
The traditional covering worn by some Muslim women.
You know how important that is, and what is a hijab?
I wanted to challenge the narrative that Muslim women are meek and docile and oppressed, being unapologetically Muslim, Black, a woman, and it's like either you like it or you don't, and I don't really care either way.
Malcolm, as he said, he was a man of God. He was a believer. He had a deep belief. You know, when he went for his Hajj and couldn't make wudu because he hadn't been acclimated to those positions, like putting your foot up, and he felt bad, like I can't worship Allah like I'm supposed to. You know, I'm supposed to be a Muslim. He felt bad. You know, he was a believer, and that faith is what fueled him. We're like, where did that fire come from? The people see the fire, but fire requires fuel, and the fuel is faith.
If you sit around and wait for the one who's in power to make up his mind that he should end it, you'll be waiting a long time. And in my opinion, the young generation of whites, blacks, browns, whatever else there is, you're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution, a time when there's got to be a change. People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be built, and the only way it's going to be built is with extreme methods. And I, for one, will join in with anyone, don't care what color you are, as long as you want to change this miserable condition that exists on this earth. Thank you.
And so my first exposure to Islam was through Muhammad Ali.
Ali did more to normalize Islam in this country than perhaps any other Muslim in the history of the United States. Or Ali made being Muslim cool. Ali made being a Muslim dignified. Ali made being a Muslim relevant. And all of this he did in a way that no one could challenge his belongingness to or in this country. Ali put the question of whether a person can be a Muslim and American to rest. Indeed, he KO'd that question.
Cassius is not my name no more.
You want to keep calling me a white man's name? I'm not white.
Continues to scream at Terrell.
He beat the hell out of those who didn't want to use his name.
Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted into the United States Armed Forces.
I'm going to fight not for me, but to uplift my little brothers who are sleeping in concrete floors today in America.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. George can't hit what his eyes can't see.
All of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
And never talk about who's gonna stop me. Well, ain't nobody gonna stop me.
I must be the greatest. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I told you, all of my critics, that I was the greatest of all time.
He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life.